Michael Morales Torres para Lucha Libre Online y el calce junto a mí, el campeón mundial de TNA, ex campeón World Heavyweight en WWE, ex mega campeón de AAA, ex campeón global de New Japan Pro Wrestling. El hombre lo ha hecho todo, el trotamundo. Nic Nemeth, the most wanted man, llega nuevamente acá a Lucha Libre Online. Man, it's an absolute honor to have you back. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
All good in Puerto Rico, man. Missing you. We're going to see you in a while here. But
Very soon.
But prior to Puerto Rico, you have a very particular match. Let's go step by step. The first thing, TNA's World Heavyweight Championship, or TNA World Champion Nic Nemeth. You won a world title at AAA. You won a title in New Japan. You won a world championship at WWE as well. Now you do the same in TNA Wrestling, adding one of the most prestigious title belts in the history of this industry to your CV. How does it feel?
It's freaking great. And I'm someone who didn't say like, hey, listen, I'm going to be the world champion wherever I go. I was just someone that said, I want to test myself and see if I can back up all the trash I've talked for the last 15 years. And every match I've gone to, whether it's a different city, a different company, an independent, a big wrestling place, no matter the situation, so far, I've been able to back it up and I've been very happy with my work. So I'm never truly happy because I always go back and think of all the mistakes that I made. But I wanted to make sure that I am as good as I say I am. And so far, so good. Becoming world champ for TNA is friggin' amazing, man. I know the people who've held it before. Bobby Roode, one of my good friends, was one of the best guys to hold it, and rightly so, because he backed it up. He's got the look, he's got the smarts, he's got the body, the build, he can go. Things like that make me really happy because, you know, again, I cannot stress enough that like, I'm not like, hey, I'm coming here to win titles. I'm coming here to help TNA be even better than they already are. And I hope, and if I'm doing my job right, they will be 1% better because I was there. And then that's the important part to me.
Since you got to the company, nobody expected it. Let me tell you this, of course. Nevada, Las Vegas went wild. And every single event and taping, if I'm not mistaken, has been sold out after sold out after sold out crowd. Montreal with 4K, huge crowd. Now you're heading to Kentucky, Louisville, specifically Pariston, for Old Forester Pariston Hall, I believe it's called venue. It's in Louisville in Kentucky for Emergence. It's Friday the 30th. How does it feel to be a champion or a main centerpiece inside a wrestling company that actually draws, that actually sells out venue after venue after venue?
It's cool because it's baby steps every step of the way. And like I've said a million times to Ross, who's on this call, or Ariel, or anyone behind the scenes with TNA, Tommy, Gail, you name it. Not only do I love those guys because we're all on the same page. Like we are all going, how do we get 1% bigger by the end of next week? After the next pay-per-view, how do we get another jump? Do we get some buzz about us? And because of all that, that's the reason that the fans are coming out. It's almost rebuilding this from the ground up. And to some people, 4,000 people, that's not a big deal. Well, there's 20,000 people at Raw sometimes. Like, yeah, that's fine. That is a multi-billion-dollar company that is hot and killing it and doing great. We are someone who almost rebranded and restarted. And I go to every step of the way, we're like, hey, this is doing really well. That's great. We're on a different scale, but because of that scale, because of the people behind it, in a world where every wrestling locker room is hardworking and busts their ass, we are trying to stand out as even more so of people who like, we're all on the same page. We're all working together. We're all have one goal. Get just one more step of notoriety for TNA. And so far, I believe the entire roster has absolutely delivered. I'm very lucky to be a part of it.
Again, I'm going to say this in Spanish. El 30, este viernes 30, Emergence en Louisville, en Kentucky. All Forcer, Paristown Hall, directamente en Louisville. Hay mucho boricua en el área, hay mucho mexicano, dense la vuelta. TNAWrestling.com para los tickets. Es sold out after sold out. Los venues se están llenando, así que tienes que adquirir tus boletos. Y si no estás en Kentucky, puedes verlo a través de TNA Plus, puedes verlo a través de Fight TV en pay-per-view. Y el 31, que es al otro día, el sábado, agosto 31, tienen también un evento de Fallout y no se lo pueden perder por nada del mundo. Nuevamente TNAWrestling.com para boletos, para ver Emergence este viernes desde las 8 de la noche, TNA Plus o Fight TV. Nick, you have a match that's drawing everyone's attention, basically. It's Josh Alexander. It's the walking weapon. It's one of the best technical wrestlers in the world today, period. What that dude is doing is amazing. Former world champion, title matches, very successful career. He's your opponent, and you're going to be facing him in a 1 hour Iron Man match. It's Shawn Michaels versus Bret. It's Nic Nemeth versus Josh Alexander. It's the match that can define this era of pro wrestling. How excited are you for this opportunity?
I really am. I'm nervous because one, this is Josh's thing. Like I came to realize this is his thing. And he doesn't have an off switch. He doesn't have a 6 or a 7. He goes 10. He is a buzzsaw for the full hour. He can go. He knows it all. He has every mindset, every move set you can imagine, and he can go. So that's one way of me looking at it. Two, another one was, 5 years ago, I was like, I could do an hour standing on my head. 3 years ago, I got it. No problem. The last 2 years in New York, I was doing 3 and 4 5-minute matches. So no matter how much cardio I did every day, no matter how many weights I hit every day, no matter what I did, go out of the box workouts every single day, it is not the same as having 30 and 45 and hour-long matches routinely. So I was a little nervous about myself. And I said, last week, we ended up having a 30-minute draw. And as that ended, I went, okay, I still got it. I still got that stamina from St. Ed's wrestling in high school. I still got it from Kent State wrestling in college. That was part of the thing. Like, no matter how good you were, no matter what your case was, if you could never be tired, you always gave yourself a shot. So when I kind of made a career out of that, I wanted to be able to back it up now as I'm getting the opportunity to show that I can go. And this is on me. We all know Josh can do this. We all know how great he is. We know how awesome he is. In the ring, mind-wise and move-wise. It is up to me to deliver, to not just be on the same page as him, but to come out on top as the champion, as the better fighter that night.
Man, last but not least, you're inspired. You're in your best moment. You're in a great shape physically, mentally. And as an athlete, you're at the highest point, in my opinion. What's obviously Josh Alexander is there, but there are a lot of competitors. There's Jeff Hardy, there's Matt Hardy, but there's one name in particular that's been calling one of everyone's attention, and that's Joe Hendry. He's now as well doing the cross promotional thing with WWE. He was almost this close, as many people claim, from being the TNA World Champion. If retaining the title from Josh Alexander, can Joe Hendry obtain an opportunity? Is he in your pathway? Like, can we have a Nic Nemeth versus Joe Hendry match, for heaven's sakes?
I think because TNA, no matter what the infrastructure is, what the long-term planning is, no matter what the case is, clearly Joe Hendry has stood out as a special person in this business right now. So whether the plan was for him to be involved in the tighter picture or not, or if he's busy with NXT, I totally understand. But if not, and if I survive this Iron Man match, which I talk the game, I'm the champ. I'm not looking to drop this title. I'm looking to kick the hell out of Josh Alexander and make a message and a point that says, hey, not only am I the champ, not only am I leading this locker room, not only am I outdoing Josh Alexander in his own match, going an hour and stealing the show, I'm also going to continue doing this because this is all I know, is to be the best and outdo myself. So if the next person to step up that night after is Joe Hendry, I welcome it because, one, I don't think he's in my league wrestling-wise.
Jeez.
Two, when it comes down to it, being a huge draw is very important in wrestling, period. It doesn't matter how good you are at wrestling. It doesn't matter what your mind, your ring IQ is, your ring general, all those things go out the window. If there is money to be made with Joe Hendry fighting for the world title or possibly winning the world title, you better believe TNA is going to be behind it. And they should be, because that is just good business sense. So if the time is right and he is not busy with NXT, he's fighting for another title right now. He can't split his time and go, I'm going to fight for this one and then this one next week. No. If he's focused on that, I totally get it. If he is done being focused and walks over as the NXT champion and wants to fight champion versus champion, I welcome that with open arms because, one, I will put on a clinic and make him look silly. And two, it will be a very, very fun clip for him to have the most views on for his next thing for social media. So I appreciate everything he's doing. He is standing out and going above and beyond with so many independent people who come up to me and ask, what can I do to stand out? What can I do? Being awesome at wrestling, there's 10,000 of us. Can you do something that goes viral? Sure. But is it in a positive way? Is it awesome? Is it something that continually brings in people and makes money? And right now, Joe Hendry is crushing it. And every clip that he's a part of stands out above everything else, even in WWE's world. So I would be stupid to not welcome more eyes on me fighting for the title against him. But just know, no matter how much people cheer for him, no matter how many shirts he sells, when he gets in the ring, he's still not me, and he never will be. So you have to remember that at the end of the day, that as the TNA World Champion, I'm not going to lay down because somebody gets a bunch of views on TV.
That was a savage thing to do. Let's hope everything goes well in Emergence. It's Friday, este viernes, sábado, el viernes 30 de agosto. Emergence desde Louisville, Kentucky. No se lo pueden perder. TNAWrestling.com para boletos, TNA Plus para verlo en vivo o Fight TV. Y todos los jueves a las 8 de la noche a través de Access TV. TNA tiene su programación. ShopTNA.com para mercancía. No hay tiempo para más. Let's wrap this up, pero en español. The Most Wanted Man, el campeón mundial peso completo de TNA, Nic Nemeth y Michael Morales Torres para Lucha Libre Online en el Calce, porque en español nadie lo hace mejor. Será hasta la próxima.